All right, we're about to dive into one of the Bible's most challenging, maybe even controversial themes, and for sure one of its most surprising. We're talking about the idea of God as a divine warrior. Now stick with me here, because this metaphor, it shows up from the very first book all the way to the last, and really understanding it can totally change how you see the entire story.
So quick question for you. When you picture God, what's the first image that pops in your head? Is it that classic, wise old man with a flowing white beard? Maybe a powerful king sitting on a throne? Or, maybe it's not an image at all. Maybe it's more of a feeling, like warmth or light.
For most of us, the go-to images are pretty comforting, right? We think of God as a gentle shepherd, guiding his flock, or a loving father, a righteous king, even a faithful husband to his people. These are the big ones, the metaphors that we all know and that really shape how we think about God.
But then, you're reading along and you stumble across a verse like this one from Psalm 78. God awoke like the sleep of a drunk soldier. Wow. I mean, that's jarring, right? It's so unexpected, and honestly, it's meant to grab your attention. It's a huge clue that there are other, way more shocking metaphors for God at play in the Bible.
So yeah, let's get right into it. We're going to unpack that one big, shocking metaphor that runs like a thread through the whole biblical narrative, the idea of God as a powerful, divine warrior.
Now, to help us navigate this pretty complex topic, we're going to lean on the work of Dr. Tremper Longman. He's a retired Old Testament professor who has literally spent his entire career studying this very theme. He really helps us see that this isn't just a random collection of violent verses, but a single developing idea.
And we're going to be looking at this through a specific lens. It's called biblical theology. It's actually a pretty simple idea. Instead of just, plucking out individual verses here and there, we're going to trace how one big concept, in this case, God as a warrior, is revealed and how it changes throughout the Bible's historical story from Genesis all the way to Revelation.
And that right there is the key. The divine warrior isn't just some static image that stays the same. No, it's a theme that grows and shifts, kind of adapting to new moments in history as the biblical story moves forward.
So, to make sense of this whole evolution, Dr. Longman gives us a really helpful framework. Think of it like a 5-phase journey that tracks this divine warrior theme from its earliest appearances right up to its ultimate conclusion. This framework basically gives us a roadmap for the whole story. It kicks off with God fighting for his people against their physical enemies, but then, and this is huge, it takes a really shocking turn. So let's just do a quick walkthrough of each of these 5 phases.
Okay, so phase 1 is probably what you'd expect, right? God fighting for Israel against their enemies, like in the famous Exodus story. But then comes phase 2, and this is a major plot twist. You get all these stories where God, the warrior, actually turns and fights against his own people because of their disobedience.
Then, during really dark periods, like the exile, the theme shifts again. The prophets start talking about a future battle. The whole warrior idea becomes this source of hope, a promise that a divine warrior would show up one day and finally set things right. And this all leads us to the New Testament in phase 4. This is where Jesus arrives as the fulfillment of that very hope, but he completely redefines the battle. See, he's still a warrior, but the fight gets intensified and totally redirected. It's no longer about fighting flesh and blood, but about taking on the spiritual powers of evil and darkness. And finally, we get to phase 5, which points to the very end of the story. The book of Revelation and other parts of the Bible describe Jesus' second coming in this really vivid warrior language. This is it. This is when the divine warrior returns to win the final decisive battle against all evil, once and for all.
So when you lay it all out like this, you can really see the whole progression, can't you? The target of the warrior's battle completely evolves. It goes from physical enemies to a future hope, to spiritual evil, and then ultimately to the final defeat of all opposition to God.
So why does all this matter? Why is this framework so important? Well, because it helps us build a single, unified story from what can honestly seem like really difficult and even contradictory parts of the Bible.
Look, the most important point is this. When you look at it through this 5-phase lens, all those violent, warlike passages in the Bible, they're no longer just these scattered, troubling episodes. They actually become part of one single, overarching story. The story of God's relentless fight against evil in all its forms, from the very beginning to the very end.
So I'll leave you with this question to think about. If we see the divine warrior not as just one single image, but as a theme that develops over time and finds its ultimate meaning in Jesus' spiritual battle, How does that change the way we read and understand some of the Bible's most difficult and violent stories? It's a lot to think about.